Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Sarah Lou Yoga here. Today's class is all about self-acceptance, just practicing in yoga in a way which suits you and your body on this particular day. So hop into something comfortable. You will need a mat and any other props that you feel are going to support you in your practice this morning. So it can be blocks, it can be a strap, and I am using a cushion as well, so you might want to grab one of those as well. So let's get started. So we're going to start in a seated position and just take a moment to tune into our bodies and our breath. So get yourselves nice and comfortable. Find your two little sit bones, start to root them into the floor, and then from there find some length through the spine, so there's a helium balloon lifting you up towards the ceiling. Draw the chin in slightly, lengthen the lower back by just drawing up through the hip points slightly. Soften the front ribs in, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw, the tongue. I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. Start inhaling, exhaling through the nose if that feels comfortable. And we're just going to start off with a little mantra just to get us into the zone of self-acceptance. So I just want you to pick a statement, and it could be, I am perfect as I am, or something similar. And just repeat it to yourself on every exhale. And we're just remembering here that yoga's not about making specific shapes with our body. It's more about moving in a way which supports and nourishes us, and using yoga as a tool to achieve that. So a couple more repetitions. Okay, and then just bring yourself back. Let's bring in some movement just to start to warm everything up. So with your next inhale, turn the palms up, let the arms reach overhead, let the shoulder blades move with you, separating the ribs from the hips, and then exhale, push the air away, get some resistance on your exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, exhale, and again inhale, exhale. Let's take that into a little side bend just to start to warm everything up. So let's take it, inhale up, exhale, grab the left wrist with your right hand, just take it into a little side stretch. Take an inhale, center, and then exhale, take it to the other side. And just be mindful to root down through the opposite elbow. Inhale, exhale, take it back to the first side. So I'm rooting through the left sit bone. Inhale, center, and now I'm rooting through the right, just so that your bum doesn't come off the floor. Inhale, center. And then with our next exhale, let's take it into a nice gentle twist. So twisting around to the right first. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale, use your breath to turn from the navel up. Take it over to the left. Inhale, center. Let's go back to the right. So don't pull with the arms, they're just going along for the ride. Use your breath. Inhale, center, and then exhale. Lovely, super job. And then let's come to all fours. So taking your knees underneath your hips and your hands underneath your shoulders. Let's take a moment to spread the toes, spread the fingers, and then start to press them into the mat. So that's finger pads, finger knuckles, and every single toenail and your shin. And just notice how it brings your weight in the center. So you're not too far forward or back, you're just nicely in the center. Let's take it through a few cat-cows. So on your exhale, just curl the tailbone, push into the shins, the toes, the finger pads. Let the chin curl in a bit, round in the spine. And then as you inhale, keeping all those connections to the floor, just take the tailbone away from the chest. And then exhale. So go with your own breath. And again, go on how this is feeling. Don't get fixated on what this looks like. You may notice you have a sticky spot in your spine somewhere. Just try and use your breath to get some length there. Lovely, well done. One more time. Okay, and then just for a moment, let's curl the toes under. Let's walk the hands forward and just take it into a little quarter doggy stretch. So spin the upper arms towards one another, the backs that is, and caterpillar those fingers forward so you're just getting some length in the side of your waist. Take a breath here. And then from here, come up, press up and back, downward facing dog. Okay, so it's our first dog, so take a moment just to pedal it out. Keep breath nice and smooth. Notice where you're feeling a bit tight, stiff, perhaps. Maybe, there's something going on. You may have a pain point or a sore point. Just take notice. No, you are perfect as you are. Okay. And you just tell yourself that, yeah, I've got a little issue somewhere that I just might want to think about and be aware of as we're practicing today. So remember, make the yoga work for your body, not the other way around. Okay, from here, let's take a little walk. So I want you to really think about pulling the leg bone up into the socket and then stiffening your legs. You can still keep a bend and walking. See how far you can get to your toes. Again, no judgment. You get as far as you can comfortably. Take a lovely inhale, bend the knees generously, and then take it into a ragdoll forward fold. You do what you want with the arms. You can cup the elbows with the hands, or you can just dangle. Spread those toes. Find all four corners of your feet. Notice if you're pressing down on one part of your foot more than the other. And just take a moment just to see if you can even the deal a little bit. And then we're going to roll up. So drop the tailbone, scoot the hip points in and up, and press into your feet. Use your legs to guide the journey. Head comes up last. Give yourself a couple of shoulder rolls. All right, and from here, just grab your blocks if you're using them. You don't have to, but on our journey of self-acceptance, we have to embrace the props. Props are there to support our bodies, okay? It's never cheating. I used to think that in the early days of my yoga practice, if I was using a prop, I was rubbish, okay, rubbish at yoga. But I've since learned that they're there as a support. They're there as a support to your body and can help you perform certain things a lot better. So, never be afraid to use props. All right, so find Tadasana. Let's spread those toes again. Find those four corners of the feet. Let the tailbone drop down. Press back the hips a little bit. Move your weight back in space. Soften your front ribs in. And let's open the palms to the front. Just start to feel some space around the chest. Maybe start to draw the arm bones back a little bit in space, especially if you're spending a lot of time, looking down at your laptop or phone. All right, with our next inhale, let's reach the arms up high. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. And here's where you could just use your blocks if you want to. All right, they can be any level, they can be any height. Just use them as a little buddy, just in case you need them. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, step back into a low lunge. Okay, so you don't have to use the blocks, but just it's nice to play around with them, like I said. So spread the back toes, press the back shins, squeeze or scissor the inner thighs together. Let's take it into an inhale and a low lunge. Grow tall through the spine, lengthen the tailbone down, pull the hip points up, feel that engagement of the core. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, hands on the blocks or floor, pick up the back foot. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold, and let's take it to the other side. Left leg goes back, drop the knee. Take an inhale, low lunge. So find that scissoring. Think about lengthening that tailbone down. Feel that engagement in your glutes. One more inhale. Exhale, hands to the blocks. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, come on up. So we're going to do that again. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's step the right leg back, drop the knee. Let's inhale, come on up into our lunge. Scissor those inner thighs together. And this time we're going to take it into a twist. So bring the palms down. Make sure your legs are working. Take an inhale and then exhale. Remember, you're moving from your core. So hug the waist in. Turn from the navel up. And then you're hooking the right elbow around your left knee. Got 3 breaths here. If you want to take it up a gear, feel free to curl the toes under and pick up the back knee. Otherwise, leave the knee on the floor. Just 2 and 3. Come forward, use your blocks or not, and step it through. Forward fold. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping the left leg back. Inhaling it up. All right, let's get ready for the twist on the other side. So let's take the hands into prayer. Wait for an exhale. When it comes in, Hug the waist in, turn using your waist muscles, your abdominals, and then come to your twist. Pull the arm bones back in space, keep the chest nice and wide. This is 2. Remember, you can curl the back toes under. 3. And then release. Well done. Step it forward. Forward fold. All right, so I hope that gives you an idea of, how you can support yourself in lunges. So let's take an inhale. Let's find chair pose. Let's get a little bit of heat in the legs. Think about hugging an imaginary cushion between your thighs and then press the outer thighs apart. Should give you a little bit of space. Perhaps you can drop down. Weight is mainly in your heels, but don't lose your toes. All right, take a big inhale. Let's find a twist on here. So hands together. Inhale, exhale, let's twist over to the right. 3 breaths. Inhale, chair pose. Wait for the exhale, and let's go the other side. All right, inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. All right, loose the blocks now. We're going to step back into our downward facing dog. Take an inhale, find plank pose. You could drop the knees straight away, remember. Do not have to stay in this position. We're just hanging out for a little while just to build some heat. So really press back through the inner and outer heel, lift up through the front of the thighs. Pull the pubic bone towards the navel and press evenly through both hands, both fingers. Or both sets of fingers, I should say. Okay, either drop down to the floor or drop the knees down as well. You choose. Let's take a cobra. So press the toes down, pubic bone down. Pull the hands back a bit as you squeeze the elbows in. Chest moves forward and up. And remember, it's easy to go potty on this one. Listen to your body. And think about engaging the back more than how high you can go. It's all about accepting that the shape your body is making is the perfect shape for you. All right, with your next exhale, let's take it back into down dog. And then from there, let's step to the front. And if you wanted to, you can walk your hands to the back, okay, whichever's easier. There's no hard or fast rules. We can just change our practice to suit how our body feels today. Inhale to come up. And exhale, press the air away. All right, so we're going to have a play in Warrior 2 and Goddess Pose. So we're going to do it just a normal Hatha Yoga style. So take a big step wide. So ideally you want the ankles underneath your wrists. And then we're going to turn the left foot out and keep the back foot facing forward. All right, so with Warrior 2, there is a tendency that we're so desperate to get deep into it that we tend to just skew off and surf over the front leg. We don't want to do that at all. So I'm just going to give you some tips to make your Warrior 2 a little bit more comfortable and work for you a little bit better. So the key is your back foot. I want you to really push it into the floor until you feel the leg muscles really engage. So you're squeezing through the glute and you're pressing the top of the thigh back in space. And then from there, we want to bend the front leg. Now the idea is to try and keep the hips as level as possible. So you're trying to lift up from this top hip. Okay, so you don't want to scrunch down into it. That causes the leaning. We want to lift away. And then we can bring the arms out and breathe. So again, we're going with what feels good, not with desperately trying to, create a shape which just might not suit our body. All right, now take a look at the front knee. If it's collapsing in, just simply means that we might have tight inner thighs and maybe a bit of weakness in our glutes. So we can work on that in our warrior two. So to help you do that, two things. I want you to squeeze the left sit bone under and I want you to spiral. So imagine that you're rotating the inner leg out towards the outer leg, and that should help you bring that knee in line. If it's still not working, allow the back hip to drop down a little bit without losing the strength of the leg. Okay, so there are things that you can do just to change the position slightly so that you get a comfortable warrior two. All right, come out. Turn the left toes in, right heel in. So we're coming into a goddess shape. So the toes are basically turning out. Now this is another area where we can show ourselves a little bit more compassion rather than forcing ourselves, because everybody wants to go low, don't they? But go on how your knees are. So your knees need to track your feet basically. And if they're not, just play around with the position of your feet until they do. As you bend down, think about really scooping your butt cheeks under and pressing your knees back in space. Do not worry about how far you're going down, as long as you feel some lengthening and working in your inner thighs, a lot of work in your glutes, and you're not getting any knee complaints or lower back complaints, then you're fine. Let's enjoy this pose for a few breaths more, and you can play around with your arm positions. You can bring them here to open up through the chest. All right, inhale, come on up. All right, so we're going to swivel to the other side. So turn the left foot in, right foot out this time. And again, really press down through the back foot, and you're trying to lift the right hip away from the right leg crease, where you bend that crease in here. You're trying to get some space there. And then come into your warrior two. Think about the knee, scoot the right butt cheek under and spiral from the inner to the outer leg. Keep this leg really strong. So you're trying to press your foot into the floor. All right, bring yourself up. Turn the toes in. This is another place where we can use our blocks. I'm going to take it into a forward fold. And we want our backs to be nice and long for this. All right, so we're going to turn the toes in. This is where you need your legs working really, really hard. Press the hips back. So loop the glutes under, lift the hip points in and up so you feel your weight come back, but don't lose the big toe or the little toe mount. Take an inhale and then come up and over your hips. All right, so you're hinging from your hips, and bring your hands onto your blocks. Now if your legs are working hard enough, you should be able to lift your hands off the blocks very easily. Take an inhale, pull the chest forward, lengthen the tailbone down towards the floor, and then exhale if you've got the space, bend the elbows and come down into a deeper fold. Inhale, find length forward, exhale, come down. And you might find you don't need the blocks. You can bring your hands to the floor and keep the length in your back. Otherwise, just, stick with the blocks. That's what they're there for. And then you can feel the length in your spine, that sense of your legs working really hard, the connection with your core. It just all feels a lot better. All right, to come up, use your legs. So bring your hands on your hips, take an inhale, and come on up and jump together. All right, super duper. So you might need your blocks again. I'm going to bring it down to the floor. All right, so this time we're going to walk out to downward facing dog. So take an inhale. Reach the arms up high. Exhale to fold, bending the knees as much as you need to do. And then just walk it out. Find your downward facing dog. And remember, this is all about pressing the hips up and back as much as you can. It's not about how straight you can get your legs or getting the heels on the floor. All right, take one breath here and then drop it down. All right, so we're going to go on to pigeon pose, another pose that I see forced quite a lot. So I just wanted to give you some other options and some tips so that you can enjoy pigeon. All right, because when we come into it in a forced way, a way that doesn't suit our bodies perhaps, then that's when you start to get knee pain or pain in the lower back. So I'll show you a way of getting in. We're going to slide the right knee to the right hand, okay? And then you're just going to let the shin go where it wants to go. So no forcing the shin, so it's parallel with the mat, okay? None of that. Let it go where it feels good. And then from there, you can caterpillar the left toes back. Now the idea of pigeon is that, well, I'm off my mat, so I'm just going to scooch a little bit further forward. The idea is that you keep your hips and your pelvis level, so there's no twist there. And many of us, because we want to make it look nice and pretty, we tend to forget this and we start to twist in the back. So take a moment just to drop the left hip down, suck the right leg bone back in space, and that will even you up. And if you find, like my butt is a little bit off the floor this morning, no big deal. This is where my cushion comes in. You can use a block as well. So you might just want to stay up here. Keep that push kind of pull action going. So you're sucking the right hip back and lowering the left hip down. And then if you want to soften down, then you can do. And if you like, instead of lowering your head to the floor, you can use your block. You can rest your forehead on the block. You can rest your elbows on the block. You can be here, up here, even up here. If you have a relaxed jaw, you're able to breathe and you're feeling a stretch in your right hip. You nailed it. This is where you want to be. If you can't breathe, you're gritting your teeth and you're timing yourself to the point where you really want to come out ASAP, then you need to rethink. All right, bring yourself up. Remove the cushion. Curl the toes under and step back into dog if you want, or just come back into all fours. I'm just going to give my right leg a little straighten out, which feels good in dog. But you do you. If you want to come back to tabletop, that's absolutely fine. Remember, you do your yoga practice to suit your body and how you're feeling, not the other way around. Okay, let's try the other side. You may find it feels a little bit different, so you may need to prop up a little bit differently. So slide the left knee and then let the shin come out as far as it can comfortably come out without you forcing it. Flex the foot of your left leg and then caterpillar the right leg back. Okay, so as far as you can. And then you're sucking the head of the left leg bone into the socket and dropping the right down. And I'm off the mat again. I'm doing well today, aren't I? So I'm just going to slide myself forward and then get back into position. And then I ask myself, do I need support? Yes, I do. So I'm going to sandwich the gap between my buttock and the floor. And then I'm going to come down. Right, the other reason why using props, and listen to your body is so good is that your hips are going to actually stretch a lot better and release a lot better if they're pressing against a resistance and they're not hanging in midair. All right, so again, ask yourself, how am I breathing? Am I gripping anywhere? Am I feeling any messages from my knees or my lower back? And then, of course, am I feeling, a release in my outer left hip? All right, well done. Coming up, release the props. Again, table or dog. See what feels good. Well done. And I'm just going to take it through a little vinyasa, and you can do this from tabletop. You can kind of press yourself forward and slide yourself forward, coming down onto your belly. And then let's take a little cobra. And then exhale. Widen the knees, big toes together, child's pose. All right, just take a moment here. All right, we'll take a quick thread the needle and then a short relaxation. All right, and again, this is where, props can come in handy. All right, you might not need them, but they're there if you want to. So we're going to inhale the left arm up. We're going to exhale, thread it through. And if you find that the floor just seems too far away from you today, then you can use your cushion to sandwich the gap between your left ear and your left shoulder blade. I'm going to take 5 breaths here. So again, use the end of the exhale to rotate your rib cage around. Press evenly as you can through both sets of toenails and both shins. All right, press the right hand down. Inhale the left arm up. And exhale, return to the floor. Let's take it to the other side. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, thread it through. So if you've got time for a little relaxation, I would love it if you join me now. So just gently bring yourself down on the floor. Let the feet flop out to the side, arms away from the body, palms up. Just going to take a minute here just to let your body absorb everything you've done. Maybe repeat that mantra one more time, whatever it was for you. And then release the mantra. Start to bring yourself back by wriggling the toes and the fingers. And then bring in any other movement which feels good. We're going to bring ourselves slowly up to a seated position. So I hope, not only are you feeling a little bit better in yourselves, but you also have a good idea of how to accommodate props in your practice to support you, and also on just changing things a bit so the poses and the movement that you bring into your body suits your body. All right, until next time, bye for now.